Hello, Harris County. Thank you for joining us for yet another fantastic summer reading program. Get ready to shake your tail with Andyroo in the Andyrooniverse. This is the first part of his two-part series of crafts, music, movement, all about some of the world's most interesting water-dwelling creatures and their magnificent tails. Tonight, we will make our own artistic versions of the creatures' tails with art supplies at home. And Andy will share some interesting water tales. Anyways, make sure you have your own construction paper, glue, scissors, and cardboard ready for the fun. With that said, I'm going to let our star take it away. Are you ready, Andy Roo?
I'm ready. Thanks a lot, Taylor.
All right, we're excited.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. My name is Andyroo, and I'm here today all the way from the Andyrooniverse. Verse. You might have heard me sing some songs with you right here with Harris County Public Library in the past. And tonight we're going to sing a couple songs too about some of our animal friends with these magnificent tails. But first, we're going to do some crafts and make our own tails. So, we have three different tails that we're going to make today. We're going to make a platypus tail, we're going to make an alligator tail, and we're going to make a shark tail. Or if you want to try to make a dolphin tail, you could do that instead. So let's get started. The first thing that you should do if you're at home, if you have, if you have construction paper like this, you can grab some construction paper. It can be any color that you like. So I'm actually making my shark today is going to be red, and my platypus is going to be purple and orange, and my alligator is going to be orange. So if you want to find some construction paper, for each of these, you'll need 2 pieces. So you'll need a total of 6 pieces of paper. Now, if you don't have construction paper, that's okay. You can just use regular white paper too. So the first thing that you should do is go get your paper. You'll also need some glue. So if you have a glue stick or a bottle of glue, you can grab the glue. And of course, if you want to use some crayons to color in your tails later on, you can use the crayons too. But if you just have paper, scissors, and the glue, you'll be all set. Oh, let's see, we've got some comments here. Evan says hi. Hi, Evan. Hello, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're ready to make some tails, Evan. Here we go. So if you have your paper, let's see, I'll give you another maybe 1 minute to get some paper and get your supplies together. So paper, glue, and some crayons, and some scissors if you have some scissors. So let's take about a minute, and while we're waiting, I will play a little something on my guitar. So this first song is called Platypus. It's about our friend the platypus. Looks like we need to tune our guitar. My guitar has 6 strings. Some of them are really big, like this one. Boom, 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 boom. And some of them are really small, like this one. And when you put them all together, you can make your songs. Do. There we go. Hey! Why are you so sadipus? Your best friend's a platypus. Don't you know that a platypus makes a great best friend? You should thank Mom and Dadipus for moving next door to a platypus. Now you know that a platypus makes a great best friend. He's the coolest thing you ever saw. Makes the people gasp with awe, drop their jaw at his poison claw. Did you know that a male platypus has one poison claw? That's right. But don't you know that a platypus makes our great best friend? Yeah. So let's start with our friend the platypus. So for the platypus, we're going to have 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to use a purple piece of paper and an orange one. I'm going to use orange for the tail, which is shaped, our fun fact for platypus is that he has a tail in the shape of a paddle. So it's a paddle-shaped tail. So we're going to make a tail that looks like this one for our platypus. So first thing we can do is just take your piece of paper and fold it in half. So this is going to be your tail for your platypus, and you'll fold it the long way. Okay. I love making things with paper, especially sounds. We can cut along our edge here, so our folded edge, this is my folded part. And I'm going to just cut a curve around here. So if you want, you can take your pencil or a crayon and you can draw a little curve. So maybe we'll do that. Draw a little curve like that. Kind of like a mustache. So we'll take that, and then we'll take our scissors and we can cut it along the curve like that. So when we open it up, you could see, oh, wait a minute, that's starting to look kind of like a heart. It looks more like a heart. So maybe we don't need to cut it straight across like that with a curve. Maybe we could just cut it straight across. Let's try that. And just curve the sides. There we go. So we've got our little tail, and we're going to trim the tail so it looks like this. I might even need to open mine up a little bit. It looks like I made it a little too, let's see, let's try it again. Or you know what, we can cut this part right here. Let's do that. We'll cut it right down the middle. There we go, that's looking better. So it looks just like that. And then we can cut it in on the sides a little bit. So if we take the sides, draw with a crayon. You don't have to go all the way to the end. We can go like this. So that way when we cut it, it looks like this. Okay, so there's our tail. It's kind of like a paddle. Like if this was a racket. There we go. Gary, you're excited. Yeah, I'm looking at your Brody and Reese say hello. Hi. Awesome. So we've got our little platypus tail. So let's keep this right here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a body. It's like a tube like this with one of our other pieces of paper. But before that, we're going to take the rest of the paddle page, and you want to make something that can go around your wrist, okay, like a little band. So it goes like this. So if we go around our wrist like this, It's going to be snug like that, okay? And this is where the glue comes in. So take the middle of this piece, and if you want, you can make it a little bit thinner. We cut it like a watch band. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be something that can go around your wrist. And then we're going to take our glue and glue it to the middle of the tail so it will look like this. Okay, so let's do that. Let's get our glue stick. I like these purple glue sticks because you could see the glue. Really neat. See that? You can kind of see that. Just helps me know where to put the paper down. And I'm working on a big piece of cardboard today, so if you have some cardboard at home, you could work on that too. Makes it really easy to clean up later. Okay, so now we have our tail. We can kind of push it down. And then this can go around our wrist, okay? But first, let's take this piece of paper that's going to be the body, and we can fold it long ways like a tube, like this. Okay? So that way you can get your arm around it. And if this is too big for your arm, you can always cut a little bit off this paper too. But we're going to wrap it around our arm. And you can either glue it or you can use a little bit of tape to tape the body. So I have a little bit of tape. If you have some tape at home, you can glue or tape the body together. So we'll go like this. Tape our little platypus together. So we said our friend the platypus, the male platypus has a poison claw and they have a tail that's in the shape of a paddle. And so maybe you could find another platypus fact for me and put it in the chat so everybody can hear your platypus fact. So this looks like it was a little too big for my arm, so I'm going to trim this a bit. Add a little more tape. There we go. And so it's going to go on your arm just like this. Okay? So there's our body. And then we take our tail. And remember we made that little cup, the little wrist cuff? Well, we can put that on the inside of the body here so that the tail is on the inside. See that? Then if you can fit your hand through, you can either tape the tail down or glue it. But you can see because I have a big jacket, I can almost just tuck the tail in right there. And now you can see we're starting to make our little platypus. So these are arm puppets that you can use for your hand as the head of the animal that we're making. So we're going to make 3 of these today. So you can see I have my little tail, I have the body of the platypus, and then I have the head. Isn't that fun? Yeah, it's a little arm puppet. And if you want, you can put some feet on it too. So let's say for this one, maybe we could use, do I have another piece of paper laying around? Maybe I can use this piece of paper. Or you know what? I'll just use some of this scrap paper that I have. That's great. So we can make some little yellow or orange feet for our platypus too. And our feet don't have to be anything special. They could just be little squares like this. just like this. And then if you glue them on at an angle so that they look like diamonds, now the feet will stick out on both sides, on the left and the right part of the body. See that? So if we put it like this, you would just like that under our body. So let's glue some feet down. Yeah, I like these little arm puppets because you can make them, you can make just about any animal and you get to use your hand. You could even make something for the head if you want. Make a little finger puppet or put some eyeballs on the front of your hand. Draw them on there. There we go. So you just have your little feet and your tail. And you wrap it around. See if we can get it started inside here. And again, if you want to glue your tail in, you can just glue it right in. There we go, carefully. And there's our puppet. Oh, our little friend the platypus. Okay? So if you want to send us some pictures, maybe you could share your pictures of your platypus puppet when you're all done with it. You could share it to the Harris County Public Library Facebook page or tag us on Facebook or on Instagram. So be sure to check us out on there. And here's our little platypus. Let's make the next one. Celeste said she thinks that platypuses, one of our comments said that platypuses don't have stomachs. That's really interesting. I wonder if they don't have stomachs. Maybe we could look that up at the library. We could ask a librarian. Librarians are a great resource for finding out facts about different things in the world because they either know it, they've read so many books, or they know the book that has the information about whether or not a platypus has a stomach. So maybe a question you can ask your librarian next time you're at the library. And maybe we'll look that up before the end of the show if somebody wants to check that. That would be really interesting to know. So there's our little platypus puppet. That was our first one. The next one we're going to do. And this is another one that I did. This was the pink one. Another pink platypus. Doesn't fit my jacket as well, but there we go. The next one we will do is the alligator tail. Okay? Now our little friend the alligator has a tail like this. And a fun fact about alligators is that they never stop growing. So some of the adult alligators, they're up to 14 feet. They just keep growing and growing. So can you imagine that? If you are, let's say you're out there and you're 5 years old or you're 8 years old and maybe you are 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall or even 5 feet tall. How tall are you going to be if you keep growing all the way to 100 years old? Whoa, you would be really big if you just kept on growing. Yeah, just like our friend the alligator. So if you keep on growing, you might be like one of our friends the alligator. So look up some facts about the alligator. Let us know what you find in the chat. But next, for the alligator, you need 2 pieces of paper. And this one's really fun. This is even easier than our friend the platypus. So let's try this. Let me clear some space here. It's the thing about cutting up pieces of paper is that your workstation can get messy really quickly. But the other thing about paper is that you want to hang on to these little scraps that you make too, because you can use these for other parts of your puppets or other projects in the future. So I like to have a little area where I can keep the scraps and then put it in either a bucket or a little shoe box or something that I can go back to later. So keep your scrap paper. Oh, let's see. We have another comment about our friend the platypus. Taylor wrote, their food goes from their esophagus straight into the small intestine. Wow. Isn't that interesting? So they don't have stomachs. Their food just goes from their esophagus into their small intestine. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Let's move on to our friend the alligator. Here we go. So take a piece of paper, and just like last time when we made the platypus tail, we're going to fold this in half, long way, like that. When I was a kid, we would say hot dog fold. Have you ever heard that before? Or submarine fold, because this could be kind of like a submarine or like a hot dog. Here we go. So the next thing that we're going to do for this one is we need to draw a line from one corner to another, and you're going to start at the top corner that's open. So if this is the closed corner, the fold, start at the top of the open corner on the open side and just draw a line across the paper like this. So it looks like this. Okay, so it's going to be open on top. Okay. And after you draw that line, then we take our scissors and we cut along the line. And this is going to give us the shape of our alligator tail. So there you go. When you'll have this triangle. It almost looks like a paper airplane, right? So you'll have this triangle like this, and you're going to keep that for your tail. And then you're also going to have these two little pieces here that are left over. Keep these because we're about to use these too. So here's our tail. And what we're going to do next is we're going to put some triangles in here to be the spikes for our alligator tail. Okay, so if you've seen an alligator tail before, they have these ridges, these spiny ridges on top of it for protection because they'll use their tails to protect themselves. And so let's add that to our tail. So first, you can either take your piece of paper here. You can see there's a nice big triangle here, so we can cut across and just keep one of these big triangles. See that? So make yourself a big triangle. Remember, a triangle has three sides. 1, 2, 3. And you can put it inside, just like we have a taco. Put the triangle inside, and it's going to look like this. So that's our first spine. So we'll have a big one, and then we can make some smaller ones too. So if you want to make some smaller ones, you can take your second piece of paper and just cut a small strip like this. And then you can cut this into some squares like that. And then take your square and cut it into a triangle. So now you cut it in half and you have some little triangles. And so these are going to go in your tail also like this. See if I can hold this up before I glue it down so you can see. Oh, I lost a couple. There we go. So you can see we have our triangles that are going to be in our tail as our little spines. So let's glue these down. So you'll open up your tail like this. Give myself some space, get my triangles ready. Hey, somebody said make a paper airplane. That's right, we can make one of those today too. Make a paper airplane and fly away. Okay, here we go. So take our big triangle and we're going to glue it to the edge of the paper here like this. So you can kind of put it inside so that part of the triangle is sticking out. So we'll get our glue stick. And we're just going to put a bunch of glue along the side here. Like that. And then we can take our triangle. Our big triangle we'll put at the top. See? The top here. And then we'll put the smaller triangles towards the bottom of the tail. So they get smaller and smaller. So there you go, let me show you. That's how you can glue them in, like that. Okay? And then after you're done gluing those in, you can put some more glue on there. And then fold the rest of the tail over. Just like you're closing up a taco. And there we go. Now we have our little tail. See that? So we have, I did 3 triangles. Maybe you do a few more if you want. And we can also draw a few lines down the side if you want. So if you've ever looked at the belly of an alligator, sometimes they have these little lines by their tail. So you can draw some little lines like that on your tail. Okay? But we're not done yet, right? We have the tail, and now we have to make sure that we can put it on our arm. So just like we did for the platypus, let's make ourselves a wristband. So you can cut a strip of paper. And then take this and glue the middle of it to your tail. You don't need a lot of glue when you're using construction paper. And then if you want to tape the wristband around, you can tape it. Otherwise you could use a little bit of glue and just pinch it for a minute to have it on your hand. But if I wrap this around my arm, let's see. I can actually tape it right to my jacket here. We're almost there. Let's do it again. One more piece of paper, piece of tape. And if you have a long sleeve shirt on, you can put the tape just right onto your shirt. Okay, there we go. Oh, I didn't put enough glue on it. So, but if I have enough glue on there, it's going to stay on there for my tail. Let me show you one that I finished earlier. Let's see if I can save this. Let's save this wristband for later. There we go. But when you have it glued down, it's going to look like this. See that? So you have your tail, you can put it on your arm. And then there's my alligator tail. See? Whoa. There we go. Do we have any alligator facts? Somebody said alligators can eat turtles. That's right, they can. They eat turtles, they eat fish. So they live in the bayous. You might see them in bayous. And our little friend, the platypus, you might see him in the rivers. So those are some places you can find those animals. If you want to leave some more information about our friend the alligator, you can add that. Remember, he keeps growing, so make sure your wristband is big enough because you can make your arm even bigger. So maybe he starts out like this, just like a little baby alligator, and then over time he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then once you have a couple of these, you can start to have fun with your friends at home, your family, or you can have your two different animals. Maybe you could make a video with these, with your alligator and your platypus, and they're going, where are they going together? Where should the platypus and the alligator go together on a trip today? Hey, do you want to go to the river? No, let's go to the bayou instead. Wait a minute. I go to the bayou all the time. I'm an alligator. So you can have some fun coming up with some stories with your little puppets today. So we have our platypus, we have our alligator, and we need one more. We're going to do the ocean this time, and it's going to be our friend the shark. So let's make a shark. For the shark, the first thing you need to do is take a piece of paper. My crayons are running away here. Close this. Take your piece of paper, fold it in half the long way. Oh, we have one more comment. Alligators aren't as aggressive as crocodiles. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that. That's interesting. You know, I wonder what other information our librarian friends would have about alligators. Could ask them about alligators too, just like we asked about the platypus. And about our friend the shark. So we have this piece of paper, we're folding it, and with the shark, let me show you what we have. We have a tail, see that? It's our shark tail. And it's bigger on top, and it's a little bit smaller on the bottom. And you can see our shark has the big fin on top too. Okay? So, and there's this little baby fin in the back on the top. So if we're going to make a shark, we should draw a little outline of the shark first. So when we take our piece of paper and fold it in half, the pointy fin is going to be on the top of the page, so the open side. See that? So I can actually open up the shark. So make sure that when you have your piece of paper, put the open end up top, and then we can start drawing our tail. So if you want to draw a big tail on a piece of paper to start, just as practice, maybe you can grab a piece of your scrap paper and just try drawing a big line for the top of the tail. So a big triangle, and then a little triangle on the bottom of the tail. And once you've practiced that, then from the top one you can draw your little fin. See that? So I drew my little fin. And then you could curve it into the big fin. Like this. There we go. So I drew the tail first, then the little fin, and then the big fin right here. So if you want to practice that, you could do that first, and that way when you hold up your piece of paper that's folded, you can hold this over the top of it or next to it so that you can follow along with your drawing. So I'm going to finish drawing my shark outline. Open end up top. So I'll start with the little fin on the bottom. The big tail on the top. Then that little top fin. Then the pointy shark fin. And then on the bottom you can draw the belly, and you just leave the belly, go all the way to the bottom, and you can leave the belly alone on the very bottom because that's the fold right there. So don't cut through the fold. Make sure the fold stays just like it is. So a little bit of drawing for our friend the shark. And you can see I didn't go all the way to the end of the paper. You can, but this is what my shark outline looks like. So now I'm going to cut around the shark. And take your time with the cutting. Now our friend, the great white shark, there are so many different sharks. If we were going to do shark facts, we could actually do shark facts all night long. But if we were to pick a shark fact for our friend the great white shark, the great white shark has over 300 teeth. Isn't that amazing? 300 teeth. What other shark facts do you know? You can add them in the comments. Oh, Celeste said she said super cool. Looking forward to Saturday's program too. That's right. Today is Shape Your Tail, right? We're making our tails. And our next show on Saturday, we're going to shake our tails. So be sure that you tune in for our show on Saturday as well. And you can find that info on our Facebook events page too under Harris County Public Library. You can see the Water Tails event, and we're going to be performing on Saturday. So today's all about shaping our tail. See that? And Saturday is shaking our tail. Okay, so we have our shark, and we have to give it a mouth, right? Bum, 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 bum. So let's put our wristband on here now. So I'm going to use, let's see. Oh, look at this. This was part of the red paper that I cut out for the platypus tail. Remember when I was doing that? Or no, this is part of the shark. So I can use this piece and wrap it around my wrist. It's a lot of extra paper, so I can trim a little bit of this off like that. And now I have a nice wristband. So I'll glue that to my shark. And you can really glue it anywhere on your shark. You just have to be able to get your hand through. I'm gluing mine right in front of the big fin. So let's try that. There we go. Oh, you know what? We didn't glue the middle of the shark. Well, that's easy. All we have to do is put a little bit of glue inside the shark. See, this is another reason why I like using cardboard underneath, is because I'm not worried about getting glue on my table either. Here we go. Okay, so we fold that over. So our shark's glued together. We have our wristband on the side, so it looks like this. And then we fold the wristband over. So let's do that. And you can, again, you can glue it or you can tape it. I'm going to tape mine today. Oh, there we go. There's our shark. Boom, 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 boom. See, he's going on the ocean. He's going through the waves. Whoa. And maybe if we find another piece of paper like this, we can go behind it. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. There's a shark. So there you go. There's your shark. And we had our alligator and our platypus. Isn't that fun? Yeah, cue the Jaws music. That's right. Bum, 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 bum. Hopefully, if you go to the beach this summer, you don't see any sharks when you go swimming. But don't worry, a fun fact about sharks. Did you know that they actually don't really like the taste of humans? We're not one of their favorite foods to eat. So the odds of you getting attacked by a shark are really, really small. So you can swim and you're okay at the beach, but it's good to know that. So if you do end up seeing a shark out there, don't panic. He's not looking to eat you. He's probably going to let you get back to shore. So, I mean, don't stick around and hang out with the shark. But have you seen people on the Discovery Channel that get into shark cages and go out into the deep water and look at all the sharks? I don't think I could do that. I would be kind of scared to do that. But some people like to do that. But if you see a shark out there in the ocean when you go swimming, they're probably not going to come right up to the shore. Okay? So fish are friends, not food. That's right. That's a good comment. Thanks, Taylor. There we go. We have our shark. And so what are some other animals that you might make? You can let us know in the chat some different animals that you would make with these paper arm puppets that we did today. These are a lot of fun. You have so many interesting tails out there. And this was our water tails series, but we're also going to do land tails as well. So land tails is coming up in July, and we're going to do our shake your tail for water tails on Saturday. So if you are going to stick with us at the show on Saturday, please bring your tails along, and we'll come up with some songs where you can shake your tail. Okay? So let's come up with a song today. We have about 15 minutes left. I'm going to trim this tape here. Keep this really cool shark over here. And these are fun too because you can invite your friends over and make these and play all kinds of different games. If you're going to be doing underwater exploration or moving around, maybe you could even do dinosaurs, right? Ancient tales. Wow, so many tales out there. Let's do a song. So remember our friend the alligator who keeps on growing? Maybe we could write a song about our friend the alligator. So let's see. You know what? If sometimes in songs, when we move up the guitar, it sounds like we're going up, 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 up. And maybe we could do that for this alligator song, because the alligator keeps on growing. So let's try to come up with a song for that. Let's see. I'm an alligator and I keep on growing. 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 Growing up, 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 up. There we go. I'm getting bigger every day. Hey, Mom and Dad, can you put one more candle on the cake so that I may grow a little brighter? And I'll make a big wish, I will wish such a wish, bigger than I have before. I'm getting bigger every day. Hey, Mom and Dad, can you put one more mark on the frame? You know when you get taller and your parents measure how tall you're getting? Of the door to my room, it tells a story. How I once was so small and now I am so tall. Can you see I'm getting bigger every day? Yeah. So right now when you're little, you're just like our friend the alligator. You're getting bigger every day. Some of you, when you wake up in the morning, it's almost like you've grown another couple of inches. I know when I go to schools, sometimes I go play shows at a school and I'll meet all kinds of boys and girls out there, like our friends today, like Reese, who is here. And maybe Reese comes to I see Reese this year, and then I come back next year and Reese is even taller, like a whole foot taller. Wow. Just like an alligator, you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, we stopped growing, unlike the alligators. But, you know, when we're little, we just love to imagine that we're getting bigger. So we have that in common with our friend the alligator. Now, we have about 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can come up with another song for our friend the great white shark. So a great white shark. Big fins, big tail, in the ocean, not a whale. He's a great white shark. He's a great white shark. A great white shark. Big smile, lots of teeth, in the ocean, eats meat. Great white shark. Great white shark. If you see me swimming by you, maybe swim away. But don't worry, people. You are not my food of the day. I like fish and other things because I'm a great white shark. I'm a great white shark. Great white shark. Yeah, that was fun. I'm just kind of making up some songs about our great white shark friend there. Kind of like an old rockabilly song. A great white shark. I always imagine sharks wearing like a cool leather jacket. You know, if they were a kid in high school, the shark would have a big leather jacket on. Hey, what's going on? I'm the great white shark. What do you think? What kind of words can we write? Yeah, cool sunglasses too. That's right. Awesome, Taylor. You can have that. Corey loves the alligator song. Oh, thanks. Thanks for sending those clapping hands, Corey. Yeah, it's good to know we're not the shark's favorite food. That's right. Well, this was so much fun. I think we're going to bring back Taylor. Thank you so much, everybody, for making tales with me today. And I hope that you'll come and shake your tails with us on Saturday.
Wow, wasn't that fun? I think those tales turned out so cool and they're so unique. That was a really cool little puppet. I can't wait to make them with my kiddo. Thank you,
Yeah, isn't
Andyroo.
that fun?
And thanks to you folks at home for tuning in, for commenting, for interacting with us. The second part of this series is happening this Saturday, June 26th at 11 a.m. right here live on Facebook with Harris County Public Library. In part 2 of the Water Tales, we'll sing and dance with our amazing tales and we'll follow Andyroo on a musical journey through the oceans and the rivers and lakes. Tune in to join the wave, and we'll see you next time, Harris County.
See you later. Bye.